Hello, good morning. This is Falcon's Frontier. It's for the journey. We're here with Mr. Newton once more as we explore the verse in moments both in ambience and silence, sprinkled with light commentary. So, without further ado, let's catch the Miari Razor, head on out to some sightseeing on some of the mountain tops, forest tundras and areas. Our continued journey is a precursor. In the previous session we did some sightseeing, but we'll see what we can uncover as we journey on through, and then perhaps do some missions and acquire the all-important AUAC for our hopeful purchase of the Mercury Star. So without further ado, we've recalled our Razor. Let's head on out and see what we can uncover. Spectacular ambience. That is the verse. Lots of places and experiences as we go ahead. We have requested our departure into daylight as we track the gear and head on out. Okay, that was a spectacular sight seeing the Razor.
Thanks for visiting. Hope you enjoyed your stay and safe travels.
Or in fact, any craft that heads out into the vast, spectacular tundras that make up MicroTech. It's also an important element to explore some of the other planets in and around the area as well. But hopefully let's journey on out. Spectacular matrix on the New Babbage and Nest Apartments building. Really offering lots of unique perspectives that define the verse. We'll make sure that we'll keep our commentary and observations being mindful of moments so we can get a full dose of the ambience here in and around the surface MicroTech and generally in our presentations. So we've selected Frostbite as a location. Let's see how that fares as we go ahead. Crisp, clear lines of the Miari Razor. So we've selected. Hopefully we won't come out of the quantum. Before we get to our destination. We'll also have the engineering module as well. Wants to explore. It's interesting, we've arrived at Frostbite, and Frostbite is an entire area, it looks like, that's covered indeed in a lot of the plains of mountainous plains and mountain ranges. And obviously you see we're approaching G-Lock as we haven't left Super Cruise. A spectacular ambience of the first. Well, we've disabled ourselves because we're currently in the atmosphere. So let's see what we can see. Okay, there's a huge lake, frozen lake ahead of us. And we've got our cruise enabled again. Light Stanton reflects of the polished chassis, the fuselage of the Razor. We have the incredible location here. Lots of spaces to reflect and absorb. This is covered particularly well in the snowy mountain peaks. Lots of mountains, spaces, tundras and forests. Take solace in and explore. Some pretty spectacular mountain peaks. Part of MicroTech. Let's see, there's a spectacular area. As we journey on through, we're looking from the rather unusual position side. Let's head on in and see where we can touch down and just have a wander through. Our intentions are this rather spectacular mountainous area. As we can see, unknown sources. And our focus here with Harpers Frontier is mining, salvaging, haulage and trading as the principal focus, but you can see we've entered into blizzard space. Let's see. Closer to the planetary tech release, which is going to be quite a spectacular sight. Ambience. And then just the spectacular view of the weather systems and the different biomes, the environments that define the crisp blue revenant style environments which make up this really spectacular location. Spend a few moments here and then tundra, then we'll head on back, do some missions. Let's have a look at some of the areas that are overlooking the distant frozen lake. Trying to find a flat area in which we can nestle ourselves down. And just experience the impressive ambience. So we do not have the advantage of a top-down camera, so we'll need to make do with the external camera. Hopefully that will be an addition that they will be able to include to increase its realism. So we seem to be in the midst of a heavy blizzard. So let's exit and see. We can see a very powerful blizzard here. Our Razor holding on. Spectacular practice of these isolated, distant spaces. Which add to the occasional blizzard coming through. Trying to see sights and sounds that are associated with the unpredictable weather so synonymous with the surface and MicroTech. Spectacular view as we wander through, and we get a sense of our location here with a spectacular sun casting its light over these snowy Rocky Mountain peaks. Very impressive exercise in ambience and environment. Testament to the capabilities of creating. So what we'll do is we'll head up to these trees, spend a few moments, and then head on back to the Razor. Suit doing a suitable job protecting us from formidable MicroTech weather. in moments of light, sound and spaces. Here, intrinsic fabric, and impressively immersively spectacular example in the beauty of verse, the immersion in moments of both catching the light and experiencing the journey. This is a spectacular example of fidelity and different environments that we can experience. Certainly define the verse. A selective mix between silence, moments of reflection, and light observation. Come out here on this particular space, have a look at the light shafts through the trees, being at the receiving end of a rather fierce, a rather heavy blizzard. I think now what we'll do is head back to the Razor. So many moments in one which can capture the spectacular effects. I think it might be the case that need to experience the transition into darkness. So perhaps we'll stay around for that. That's until we'll chapter this presentation. If you wish to move forward, we hope to do some live presentations, but it'll be a good opportunity to catch the receding light as we watch. Spectacular cloud layers. Especially across the ridge. Kind of effects that are going to occur as a result. It's certainly going to be a spectacular view. Let's take a seat. And there we have light receding, disappearing, handing over care to the night phase here, and the ever ongoing cycle. Just as the light is receding, so the sounds of the blizzard as it passes. Very goosebumpy moments, especially the clouds diffusing the light, reflecting it as we're ready to usher in light phases. Then just one transition. A spectacular display in light spaces. So what we'll do now is head back to the Razor. The rodents and ambience. Hopefully you can hear me. Not too loud. Hitting the yellow zone. So Vox Frontier is the hopeful volume. We can truly see that we're making space for light, and it's ready to make itself known here. Let's get back into the comfort of the Razor. Unfortunately, we sustained some injury. Didn't want to do that. It seemed like quite a drop, but unfortunately we've sustained a slight injury. We do have medpins with us. The last visible vestige of light before us, the sanctuary and the razor that's awaiting. So let's see if we can get to the razor. This is very revenant-like. Light being diffused by the mist, the cloud layer, the fog, and around the razor. And we seem to have been pushed up against this rock here. Let's get back into the razor. Gauge the systems.
Hello, how can this help you today? Systems on.
And head on up. A spectacular view. There's so many vantage points and areas. Spectacular sight, seeing Stanton rise, disappear, and then re-emerge, with light shafts being created by the subtle imperfections on the surface of the planet. But now what we'll do is see if we can additional locations here and around the surface. Let's see if we can head over to the light side. It also warrants the opportunity to land on a more scenic space in around here. But let's adjust and have a look at some of the other spaces.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Light side and MicroTech. Dressler. And our intentions, perhaps this time, are to have a look. Harpers Point is particularly impressive, but what we'll do is we'll have a look around some of the other spaces And part of that process is obviously doing some hauling that will allow us to explore the verse. The principal focus here with Falcon's Frontier is verse exploration through the missions and tasking that will aid us in our discovery of the verse.
Quantum travel engaged.
We've returned back to New Babbage. So there was a bit of an excursion, heading on out and experiencing
Quantum travel
the
complete.
blizzard spaces, the biomes that are associated with the
Shield on.
different environments that are part of the verse, and the receding light behind the horizon. As we savour moments in ambience and excellence in the intriguing spaces as our minds help us fill in the lore. As our visual and auditory senses are suitably nourished by the spectacular visuals that are before us. So what we'll do now is we'll head on over. It's tempting to land on one of the buildings, or perhaps enter the commons area. We have the opportunity to head down there as well to explore. There's so many little spaces and viewpoints to experience here and around the verse. Again, let's see another spectacular view. Stanton, as we're approaching the interstellar spaceport.
Landing gear down.
Here we go. Got a spot all for you.
Shield on.
So, we've arrived back at the interstellar spaceport. So what we'll do now is we'll head on over into the hangar and see if we can do a few missions, perhaps. We have the additional moons related in and around MicroTech, and obviously we'll do some interstellar traversing, such as going to Pyro, as well as some local hauling. We also want to try and do some mining, some hand mining perhaps, and acquire the mining vessel. But for now, let's retreat back to the safety of the hangar.
Nicely done. We can take care of your vehicle from here.
So as you can see, let's turn off the systems. Disembark. A successful little little excursion out to the spectacular verse on the surface of MicroTech. So what we'll do now is we kind of need some nourishment. We've got a low hydration, a little bit of food. We also have our medication in terms of when we sustain a small injury. So what we'll do is we'll store the razor.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage. Please visit us again.
And head on up to the Ambience terminal for some sustenance. I do believe we've got some sustenance. So we do have sustenance already, so there's no need for additional sustenance. And we do have our med pens with us. So I think for the moment, let's go ahead and consume. There's the new interface here. The helmet removal animation as well, which is particularly impressive. Should provide some sustenance. And there we have 100% on our nutrition, but let's have a coffee. We should have had a coffee out on the surface in the verse, but as we watch the cool, crisp, refreshing signature verse Java, allowing us to keep our senses sharp and receptive as we sip on this signature verse Java. See, suitably hydrated. One more, I think, should do it. $99 and 100% on hydration. So with that, let's use the med pen an empty med pen, but we're fully restored, hydrated. Let's replace our helmet. And now we're ready to continue our journey. Well, considering this has been approximately near enough 50 minutes, what we'll do is we'll continue in the next presentation, which will follow immediately after this. Journeys and Ambience, a spectacular sight as we saw the impressive moments. Our intentions are to explore and express our journey through silence and reflection, sprinkled with moments of observation. And yeah, we cast ourselves out, touched down on the surface of one of the many mountain peaks, and watch the spectacular receding light disappear behind the horizon. This will follow on with our intention now to occur the all-important AUAC. Bit of a grind. We hope to get to 100 million, acquire the many ships as we begin to make a projection and impression into the verse through our peaceful journey of wonder, such as mining, hauling, salvage and trading, the principal focus here More action stations will happen with more perhaps risque activities such as combat, and that will follow in throughout in other sessions. But our main focus here is to experience the verse through a peaceful journey of wonder by exploring it, experiencing it, and discovering it through the tasking and hopeful acquisition of our all-important Mercury Star Runner. But for now, and until next time, don't forget the following and preceding presentation will involve tasking. This is Focused Frontier, wishing you a safe, productive onward journey. Until next time, remain inspired, and goodbye for now.